So a couple of weeks ago, I said that I was going to try and get a video every Thursday still. But today's going to be raining, but I need to make a video. So I've taken the effort, I put the gazebo up. I can't believe how much commitment I've got to you guys. But for today, what we're going to be doing is looking at this boot button. So with the dirty cold wet weather, quite a lot of people have said recently that their buttons have stopped working, but they've been able to kind of get some water in there or give them a good wash or whatever it might be, and they've kind of started working again. So I thought we'd have a look today and see what's involved in really disassembling this, taking it apart and giving it a good clean. So obviously we're going to need to get inside, so we're going to have to take this liner off again. So I'm just going to get that off first now. So for those of you that may not have seen some of the other videos, first thing we need to do is just take off these two Phillips screws, one here and one on that one. And then the next thing we need to do is just get some pry tools kind of in the side of the panel in here. So what I've got is just a couple of different pry tools there. I'm sorry about the light levels today, obviously with the white gazebo behind it's a little bit challenging, but yeah, I'm just going to get these pry tools in here and just kind of pry this away all the way along the edge from one side right across to the other, and then it should come away nicely. So what we can see now inside, we can just see exactly where the button fixes in here. So we've got a couple of fixings there, so we'll look to remove them in a second. Following the cable along, we just got this electrical connection, we just got a plug in here, or at least I think it is. So I'm just going to try and remove that now and we'll have a look at that. The plug is just held in place just at this little point here, so you can just squeeze that in and then it removes and you can take it out, and then we can see it's pretty similar actually to the puddle lights on the doors. So we just got this little clip here, so I'm just going to obviously release that and then we should be able to take that off. Okay, and then these two fixings up here are just a number 10 socket bit, so I'm just going to get them undone now. And they're not very tight at all either. Okay, great. So with those fixings undone, let's have a look and see if this will come away now. Feels like it's got a slight seal on there of some description, but then taking it away, yep, away it comes just nicely. Looking at the unit, obviously we've got this rubber seal just on the inside. I'm guessing that's going to obviously weatherproof it a little bit. But then if I remove that, it doesn't look like there's too much we can do. Maybe a couple of clips there that we can take off just for this electrical connection here. But then in terms of actually taking the badge off and doing anything there to clean that up, there's not really too much we can do. So I'll just have a quick look, see whether I can undo these couple of little clips here, just 1, 2, 3 there, and see if we can take this away and see if there's anything that we can clean just inside that. Okay, so with the electrical plug removed, what we can see, all we've got is just kind of the button that comes through. So that when you actually push the front of it, what happens is, you can see that just comes up and pushes in there. What that then does inside the button, inside the housing, you've just got kind of that little micro switch right there, and that's all it does, is just literally presses on that. Looking at this piece, it looks like it's obviously held on by this kind of circlip. So what I'm going to try and do is just see if I can remove that, and then by doing that, what we've got just inside there, I'm not sure if you can see, there's kind of these little black clips, there's 5 of them, so we might be able to take it apart and just really clean up some of the dirt that's been in there for the last 11 years or so that's really built up, especially in these cold, horrible, wintry, damp mornings as well. So I'll just see if I can get this off now. So I managed to just slide it off just by prising a screwdriver in there and kind of pushing it forward. So that's now away. So just put that to the side there. And now hopefully, if I just push that through, we might see, fingers crossed, that it will actually come away. Okay, it looks like it's really held on by these little black clips. So what I've been able to do is just kind of pry in there and just kind of push it down a little bit, because I couldn't get any long nose pliers just in the hole. The first one's popped out, the second one's popped out, and then just working around slightly, third one's popped out. It's just a bit of resistance now on this fourth one before I get to the last one as well. So I'm just going to carry on going around. Obviously I don't want to scratch anything, but I'm just going to try and put a little bit of resistance or a little bit of pressure just to try and pry it forward, just by doing this, just kind of gently going around. There we go, actually one's just released right there as well. So I'll just carry on this last one here. So it would ideally, it would be great to get kind of some long nose pliers in there and just squeeze it, but because the hole's so small I can't actually get in there, so I'll just hopefully continue working around gently. There we go, it feels like it's actually gone now. You can see it's mostly off, and we can see that we've got actually, if you can just about see in there, there's actually quite a strong spring by the looks of it. So as it comes away, I need to make sure that we're not going to lose that spring and this seal as well by the looks of it. Okay, so the last one's just come away. So I'm just holding it in place, just as I lift it off, and that pressure of the spring has just gone now. So there we go, we can see exactly what we've got. So we've got one seal around the inside. There's quite a bit of dirt there that we're going to be able to clean out, so that's really good. And then looking at this piece itself, we've got the spring itself, and then not too much more really. There doesn't seem to be another seal there, but I'm guessing looking at this dirt, you can see it kind of coming off there. So it's going to be a great opportunity just to get that really cleaned up. Okay, great, they're a whole lot cleaner now. So what I'm going to do is just get this seal on here, get the spring back in, and then we'll get these two back together. Okay, great, so that's gone back together really well. Obviously this bit's the bottom, and when you're putting the badge back on, make sure obviously that the bottom of the badge goes back down. So that's back in nicely, we've got the circuit back on, it's all gone together well. So now we just need to get the electrical plug back on. So if you remember when we took it off, this was at the bottom. So we just need to make sure that that goes back on nicely. We just got those three little clips there. Obviously we can just see them as like barbs. So we're just going to click that back on. 1, 2, they're all in place, there we go. And if I just push this, hopefully we can hear that little micro switch. That actually feels a whole lot better than it has done for a while. So I'm guessing now we just need to make sure that we've got our rubber seal, and then we can start looking at getting it back together. Before it goes back on though, obviously I'm going to take the opportunity just to clean this up. I've got years and years of dirt all in there, so I'm going to make sure that this all comes out really nicely, so we can make sure that rubber sits back in there and we get that weather seal. Okay, brilliant, so that's looking a whole lot cleaner now, so we're ready to get this back on. So the next thing we need to do is just get this seal on, and you'll note that there's this extra little hole in here, and that just goes onto this locator there. So we're just going to thread the electrical plug back through the hole there, bring it forward, push it back on, just make sure it's sealed down all the way. It seems to be pretty tight around the electrical connection now. And then when it's like that, just give it one more little click. Brilliant. Okay, so I'm just going to get these two fixings on now. Okay, so that's back in nicely, nice and tight. Those two fixings are both done up. All sounds good, feels good. So let's just get the plug on. So with that all back together, what we're going to do now is just get that clip seated in that hole and just push that through. There we go, hopefully that's in focus. We can see that's all back in there now. So that is the button all back together nicely. So now for the test, we're going to shut the boot, nice and shut, push the button, there we go, and it's working perfectly. Now actually, it does actually feel really different, to be fair. You can feel the click of that micro switch. So clearing that out and getting that dirt out has really actually paid dividends, so I'm really pleased that we've done that. So one last thing just for me left to do, and that's obviously get this housing back on here, but I won't bore you with that. So hopefully for today that's been useful for someone. If you've enjoyed it, give us a like down below. If you haven't done so already, remember to hit subscribe coming up here now. Like I always say, more likes, more subscribers, the more videos I'll make. So for now, thanks very much for watching, really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.